Hello, and welcome to the first ever Rendezvous. My name is Dawn, and I am the CMC chair for this year's event. What a journey it has been to get to this day. Plans for our May event were well underway when COVID-19 threw a wrench into all of our lives. As the months wore on, the Rendezvous Committee realized that an in-person event was not going to happen, and we shifted gears to plan a virtual rendezvous, something none of us had ever done before. We weren't sure how it would work out. We thought we might only get 30 to 40 poster submissions, but everyone rose to the occasion, and now here we are with a full program and more than 100 poster submissions. So congratulations to all of you on your hard work and perseverance in spite of a pandemic and all of the challenges that it brought with it. It took extra planning and work to get us here, so here are my personal thanks and shout out to the folks who made this event happen. Linda, Nate, Adam, Dave, Matt, Will, Meg, Taylor, Katie, Kathy, Lornay, Mistia, Ryan, Joe, Amanda, Gabby, Aaliyah, Eric, and the rest of the series members council. Thanks, everybody. And now, here's Waleed with the rest of our program.
Great, thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. I realize with so many people, it's good you didn't do the last names because it would have taken twice as long and we'd run out of time. But thank you to everybody who's contributed to this. Welcome to the Rendezvous. Sorry, the mask is sort of being sucked into my mouth. I do want to make a quick comment about mask and wardrobe. Usually I wear a jacket, sometimes a tie. I look very formal, but since this is Zoom and everybody wears pajama bottoms or boxers or shorts or something like that, that didn't feel right. It just didn't go with it. So I went with the more casual CU attire. So I don't know what you're wearing, but I hope you're comfortable. I think the other is I'm going to be wearing a mask throughout this for a couple reasons. One, the most important is that there are people in the room here with me, not within most within a safe or outside a safe perimeter, outside a safe distance. But really, I think, masks need to be normal. We need to be used to seeing people in them, whether we're comfortable with the idea or not. So I'm wearing a mask. It's not a political statement, but it is a health statement. And I encourage you all to act responsibly and take the appropriate precautions, particularly as campus ramps up. So I'll be wearing this throughout. You'll see me tug at it because it's as uncomfortable as you think it is. But we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I did go with black because it's slimming. Some people tell me I have a fat head, so I went with the black mask. Welcome to the Rendezvous. This really is a great event, and I'll get to my thanks, but we really are, people have done an incredible job to keep the spirit going of pausing to appreciate CIRES, pausing to appreciate each other, pausing to appreciate what we've done. And we wanted to have a celebration that highlights the achievements, the accomplishments of the Institute, the accomplishments of the individuals, and that's what this is about. So please join me for the remainder of the day. Don't worry, I won't be here all day. There'll be breaks in between and you'll have more interesting things to look at than me. But just pause and recognize how fortunate we are, the achievements of this institute. And I think the program today is going to help you do that. Before we get started, I want to pause on a more personal note. I believe most of you are aware of the passing of Connie Steffen on the Greenland ice sheet. Connie was series director for 8 years, a great leader of this institute. I am fortunate to be standing on the shoulders of giants, this one in particular, in my directorship. He was a mentor and a friend and will be missed. So I wanted to pause and ask people, if you knew him, to take a second to think about his smile, his deep voice, the way he would often challenge you with questions, his Swissness, of which he was very proud. And if you didn't know him, just know that we've all benefited from his leadership. So I'm going to pause, just take about 10 seconds, think your personal thoughts of Connie, and then we'll get on with the program. All right, thank you. I appreciate your indulging me in that, and I'm sure many of you have great memories, and thank you for taking the time to pay that respect. There'll be some event in the future commemorating his contributions to CIRES, to science, and to the broader community. With that, I would like to turn our attention to the more celebratory aspects of today's event, which is really what the event is about. And I'd like to begin by thanking the CIRES Members Council and everybody who contributed to this rendezvous, to this event. The names were mentioned earlier. I won't repeat them. We have pictures of most of them, 16 members of the CMC, and they all had a hand in helping plan the rendezvous. So thank you to everybody involved in that. And as I go through this presentation, there's going to be, if questions occur to you, I invite you to enter them through the chat, which will be monitored, or you can Gmail ciresrendezvous@gmail.com, and those questions will be collected and I'll address them at the end. I realized another benefit to masks is no one can see your nose running after you've teared up. But so I think the next thing we're going to do, one of the cool aspects of this, of doing this remotely, is we have the opportunity to do something we can't really do in person, and that's be a little more interactive and ask you questions. So throughout this presentation, I'm going to pause occasionally and just ask you questions to provide your input. The input's going to be collected and presented in a word cloud, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So this first question, I want to point out that we have a lot to be proud of at CIRES, a lot to celebrate, but let's face it, the COVID circumstance has really presented challenges and has made things less than ideal. So here's your chance today to vent. And so I'm going to give you a minute, just ask you and either keep your answer to one word, or if you use multiple words, string them together with no spaces, and just answer the question, how's it going for you right now? What first pops into your mind? Type that in and we'll look at the results. So we're still waiting for input. I forgot to whistle the theme from Jeopardy. Yep. I see people wrote cabin fever and with the space, so their cabin and fever are appearing in different places. Interestingly, not surprising, but the dominant item is COVID sucks. I think everybody can share that sentiment. Overwhelmed, surreal. I totally agree with that as I stand here in my mask. I love that I see grateful. I think we should all be grateful. We are in a really good position compared to so many of our fellow citizens. So thank you for that. Cabin fever, definitely. Hanging in there, happy. That's great. Challenges, devastating. So I think you can all see this. You don't need me to read them to you, but I think some key themes here that I take away, and I appreciate everybody's contribution. Grateful's the biggest right now. That's great to see. Yes, I think we can all agree that COVID sucks. I think this has been hugely challenging. I think a lot of us have cabin fever. Some of us are more sick of our families than we care to admit. Just weren't programmed to be in such close contact for so long. But I think we should all be grateful. I think we're in a good place. The Institute as a whole is in a good place. We have the resources. We're getting the work done. We're plowing through. So I'm delighted to see that. Yes, it's lonely for a lot of us. A lot of us miss the face-to-face interaction, but thank you for weighing in on that. Is there a way, Nate, actually, or Dave, that we can save that? I'd love a screenshot of that to have. Years from now, it'll be great for the historians and the anthropologists. All right, so thank you for your participation in that. We'll have others like that coming up. Getting to some numbers, this is our staffing. We're about where we were last year, just shy of 900. That reduction in number by a few, I think, is largely related to students, which vacillate, go up and down, so it's really in the noise. I won't read all of these numbers to you, but I do want to point out a couple things. I love the number of undergraduate students, graduate students, and postdoctoral researchers, what they comprise in this set of numbers, because CIRES is about science, it's about the environment, it's about doing great things for society. It's also about paying it forward and propagating into the future the next generation of leading scientists and researchers. And the exposure we give to undergraduates in the environmental sciences is incredible. The training we give to graduate students is also something to be tremendously proud of. And the fact that we have a lot of postdoctoral researchers, which include the majority of the visiting scientists as well, really says a lot about the grooming we're doing for the future, the careers we're launching. And I think we should all be proud of that. The other numbers, the research scientists, associate scientists, that really speaks to, in the many hundreds, the power we wield, the force we are as an institute in advancing environmental science and our understanding of the earth. And then the last number, the administrative staff at 40, is less than 5% of our makeup. And that, for an organization like this, is actually quite lean. And I want to extend my thanks to the administrative staff for enabling and supporting all the other activities that the researchers, the students, the others carry out. So I think collectively, our profile, our numeric profile, is really excellent. We're a lean organization that does incredible things, that trains the next generation, that launches careers, and does incredibly valuable science today. Proposals. I think right now, even in COVID, the proposals are going in strong. Last year, last fiscal year, we had 236 proposals submitted. So far, about a quarter of those have been funded. We still have yet to hear on many of them, but this is a great track record for the current year. So I'm encouraged, one, by the success rate, but two, by the fact that COVID really hasn't slowed us down in our pursuit of resources and what I expect to be our success in acquiring and securing those resources. I think it's one other comment I want to make about this is this just shows what's funded so far. If we look back to fiscal 19, so July 1, 2018 to June 30, 2019, our proposal success rate was 47%. That is truly outstanding, and that's a testimony to the brilliance of our scientists, the commitment and hard work of our scientists, and creativity, the contributions of all the support personnel that allow the scientists to effectively carry out work, so there's a successful track record to demonstrate, but also from the standpoint of support personnel, allow the scientists to focus on the proposal, to make it about the ideas, and let the administrative staff deal with the minutiae and the execution. So again, when I go back to our numbers and I think of our scientists, our postdocs, our students, our administrative staff, I think we have, we're well structured, and I think the numbers really tell a great story. On the national stage, the success rate is far less than what we have in terms of proposal funding. A place like NSF, it's less than 15%, for example. So keep up the good work, be proud. I'm certainly proud, even though I don't have much to do with this, but you should all be proud of your contributions to this outcome. And as far as the funding sources go and the breakdown, again, in the last fiscal year, our total funding was about $106 million. So for the first time, it looks like we're breaking $100 million in funding. This shows the distribution. The bulk of it, 56%, is the cooperative agreement, the work we do at the David Skaggs Research Center on Broadway at NOAA. Other parts of NOAA as well. The next big chunk is, well, I'll get to other in a minute, but NSIDC, the National Snow and Ice Data Center, DAC, Distributed Active Archive Center, managing the polar data for NASA. Close to 10% of our funding is through that DAC. So NSIDC itself comprises a significant component of the resources we draw in. Next, hurricane supplementals, an increase in funding. Unfortunately, natural disasters sometimes lead to funding opportunities. I say unfortunately because nobody wants disaster. But I do think it's telling that we're recognized as contributing substantially to understanding the science behind such phenomena, and we get a fair bit of support from NOAA on that. And then we get support from other agencies, NASA, the National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, others, also from foundations, in businesses, a range of other sources. So I think this distribution on the pie chart is really excellent because it says a few things. One, we're diverse in our portfolio. Yes, the core of what we do, we're a cooperative institute, comes from the NOAA Cooperative Agreement, but that allows us, I've said this many times, a foundation upon which to build, on which to leverage, to draw resources from other places. So this $100+ million comes from a range of sources, but the core of that is the cooperative agreement and our relationship with NOAA as our partner. The other thing I want to point out about this is the university once again topped $500 million in research funding last year. And we comprise close to a fifth of that. If you look at the breakdown, about a fifth is CIRES, about a fifth is LASP, about a fifth is the entire College of Engineering, and about a fifth is the entire College of Arts and Sciences, and the last fifth is everything else. So our footprint in the research domain on this campus, which is going to be critical for bouncing back from the COVID challenges, is tremendous. And it's recognized campus-wide. So again, thank you to all of you. This is because of you. This is because of what you do, your hard work, your brilliant ideas, your excellent research, and I can't thank you enough for that. Travel. So CIRES gets around. Last year, there were 1,170 trips. 300 were international, about a quarter of them. The rest were domestic. The most visited states were associated with AGU and AMS and the big conferences that people go to. Travelers visited all but 5 states and every continent. I find it interesting that we can make it to Africa, Antarctica, South America, Australia, but somehow there are 5 states in the United States that we just don't visit. I'm not sure why that is. I'd love to know what those states are. The countries visited include, you see the list here, Malaysia, Singapore, American Samoa, South Africa, India, Ireland, so much more. We are all over the world. And the point of this slide is not simply to show, hey, we travel a lot. The point of this slide is to show that our fingerprints and our footprints are everywhere. Our footprints are expressed through the travel. Our fingerprints are expressed through the science that's realized and how it's used. So again, these are more than just numbers to me. They're a statement about who we are as an institute and where we go as an institute. Another interactive question, just for fun. What's something you've done in these last 4 COVID-dominated months that you haven't done before? Put something new up on the screen, and I'll wait and see what kind of input comes in. And to pass the time, I'll make a comment that, like many of you, I've let my hair grow out during these COVID times. I'm sure you noticed that. Some grew beards, I shaved mine. But yes, I let my hair grow out. Sourdough. I can't tell if that's big because it was the first one in and there was nothing competing with it, or if lots of people are baking sourdough bread. Baked. I don't know if that means you baked or you were baked through most of the 4 months, but family. I like seeing family. I saw virtual and family side by side, which raises some questions about your virtual family, but I think that was just coincidence. Lots of people Zooming. Sourdough is still winning. Wow. Happy. Garden. Eating. Yes, we've done a lot of eating. I love the joke about putting on the COVID-19, but unfortunately, it's a little too close to home. You can't see my jowls with this mask, but well, family's getting bigger. That's nice to see. Homeschooling, woodworking, jigsaws. Oh, run daily. I thought it said noodly, and that seemed weird to me. Homeschooling, Zoom, work. Why is work the smallest thing up there? Wow. I guess because it's something different. We work all the time. All right, well, whoever is making sourdough, send an email to that CIRES rendezvous address because I'd like to know why that is so big. It's cool to see. Extended family Zooms, that's nice. Utah, I love that. I think people are taking a lot more drivable trips these days. Zoom happy hour. Oh, work is getting bigger. I think people are responding to my comments. All right. Well, thank you for that. And again, I'd love to capture this and refer to it when we're all back and having real happy hours and not Zoom happy hours. I want to make a few comments about diversity and inclusion. This has gotten a lot of attention, particularly over the last few months at this university and universities across America. CIRES has had a diversity and inclusion director, Susan Sullivan, for about 18 months now. This is something that we recognized. We recognized it for years, but have put resources towards it more recently as an important need for an institute like ours. Enhancing our diversity enhances our quality as an institute, enhances our research, enhances our community. And so we have the Diversity and Inclusion Office. This is the website. I encourage you to visit it. And Susan has done a lot of things, put on important trainings, gone to conferences traditionally attended by underrepresented groups to try and provide CIRES visibility. She's been a key figure plugging into the broader university's diversity and inclusion efforts and interacting with colleagues at other universities as well, working on best practices and how we can incorporate them. She's been engaged with members of hiring committees to help address issues of I forgot the word, unintended bias or just to ensure that our practices have a diversity consciousness associated with them. And she's a tremendous resource. I'm very proud that CIRES is investing in this. I think it's important. We are committed to it. We have a long way to go. You just have to look around us and see how limited our diversity is. We're very good at CIRES in the gender perspective, but in race and ethnicity, there's still a lot that needs to be done. And it's a continual effort, something we always need to be conscious of. I'm committed to it. Susan is committed to it. I know most of all of the leadership is committed to it. So stay tuned. Avail yourself of those resources, though. Participate in the trainings. Just if you do nothing else, just go to the website and see what it's about. I think you'll find things there that will interest you and make you want to ask questions a little further. So please look into that. Science highlights. Usually during Rendezvous, I take a little time to talk about some science highlights over the course of the year. We're going to do something a little bit different this year. A little less me, a little more science, which I think is always a good thing. We're going to have highlighted talks beginning at 1 p.m. to kick off the poster session. So the CMC has chosen 5 people, but 4 talks to highlight some of the particular science and related activities that are very interesting. We've got so much interesting stuff going on, but you'll hear some highlights. These are going to be short talks, again, to kick off the poster session starting at 1 o'clock. So I encourage you to tune in and really, I strongly encourage you not to be late. Don't miss any of this. This is great stuff you're going to be hearing. They will be brief, but I think when you hear them, it'll make you proud to be a part of CIRES, proud to be a part of the work that goes on here. Yeah, I think everybody knows what this is, the close-up of the coronavirus, and I really just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you. This, as the word cloud has shown, has been a really challenging work environment. Working from home, working remotely, poses challenges on many fronts, trying to juggle the schooling of our children, trying to deal with small spaces, the lack of social interaction sometimes. A lot of times in the professional environment, we need that face-to-face interaction to kind of keep us engaged, keep us stimulated. Everybody has risen to the occasion and I think done very well in the face of these challenges. And I want to express my gratitude. I hope to see you all soon and be able to express it in person. But for now, just accept my virtual thank you. Well, my genuine thank you, just presented virtually. And let me just say, keep up the good work. As I said, we're lucky The vast, vast, vast majority of us are dealing with inconveniences when many in this country are dealing, in the world, are dealing with tragedy or tremendous hardship. So I encourage you to just pause and be appreciative of the fact that most of us can do our work remotely, even if it's in a house with 6 other people in a small room in the corner and a lot of noise in the background. And those who do require presence have been able to get presence. Those working in laboratories that really need to work with instrumentation. I think we're incredibly lucky. I think we're incredibly fortunate, but I don't want to diminish or play down my appreciation for the sacrifices that people have made to make this environment and these circumstances successful. So thank you all, really, from the bottom of my heart. And now on to the recognition part of our program. Our colleagues, as I said, do great things. And one of the things I love most that they do is they stick around. So we have the 5, 10, and so on year service awards coming up. People have received these either by mail or in some cases hand delivered. So the names you see up here have received the certificates or awards or whatever is coming to them. If you haven't, let us know, let Lorne know. But I do want to just pause and publicly recognize these contributions and these achievements. So I'm going to start with a career track promotion. We have 2 slides with career track promotions, but I want to recognize the excellent work that people continually do that have led to their advancement professionally. It is important to me that people grow in their careers. This isn't simply oh, you've been here this long and it's time you move on to the next level. Growth is really important to me. Growth is a culture I want to instill. I believe my leadership team, I believe the vast majority of supervisors want that as well for the people at CIRES. So I want to recognize these promotions and congratulate people for the growth in their career. There are 2 slides. Excuse me. Uh-oh, I coughed. That's going to set off alarms for somebody. And these are other career track promotions. So normally we would have everybody applaud. I'm just going to ask you in your own way to stop and think about the great work that these people are doing and just offer them a mental congratulations. But I do have a cowbell here, and you're going to hear this in lieu of applause because the sound of one person clapping just doesn't seem to cut it. So we needed a little more noise. So congratulations to those of you who were promoted. 5 years of service. Again, I won't read all of these. There are many, but thank you to all of you who stuck with us for at least 5 years. You'll see coming up there are people who've been with us longer, but I want to recognize these people. And also 5-year service, these people. And I see Dave Zakovec is one of them. Thank you for joining us, Dave, because if he was, yes, I'll give the clap. If he was not here, you'd all be watching a blank screen or just my own home version of Zoom, which would not be that great. So congratulations to that group. Boy, that cowbell rings in my ear. 10 years of service. I guess, well, I'll let you read through this, but guess what I'm going to do, and I have no way of enforcing this, but I'm going to ask those of you on this list at home to stand up and be recognized. And I'm going to ask those of you not on this list to think about those people standing up and offer them their applause. So that crowd as well. I'm going to ask the few people in my local audience, how's the bell working? Would you rather I clapped? Would you rather I, okay. Okay, good. Yeah, what I'd rather is that 900 people clapped, but if 900 people clap in a Zoom and no one's there to hear it, do they make a sound? Is that the... All right, 15 years of service. Again, thank you to those of you for your staying power. I know you've been good to us. I hope you feel we've been good to you. I think the fact that you've stuck around 15 years suggests you do feel that way. But again, congratulations to that group. Every time I hear that, I feel like I should run for dinner from the field. And I want to pause and thank Lornay and Linda, our Rendezvous 2020 award delivery Uber drivers. Yes. Oh, you get the cowbell. Linda and Lornay went all over Boulder County and surrounding counties, much of the state, delivering award certificates to people who've earned and received them. And so I want to say thank you to Linda and Lornay, who are here. You can't see them, but they're here for delivering those awards. So on to the 20 years of service. And you see the numbers get fewer and fewer as we go on and on, but my gratitude continues. So among the 20-year service award recipients, and again, you see, well, I'll first say Andy Barrett, and you see he's holding what Lornay and Linda delivered. You recall that up to 15, you get a certificate, and this is your reward for sticking it out 20 years. You get a nice, what do you call that? It's not a statue, but it's a little sculpture or something. I'm looking over there because that's where Linda is. So Andrew Barrett, David Costa, Andrei Grashev, Christopher Harrop, Brandy McCarty, David Nance, and I love the pictures. Thank you all for doing these selfies and sending in your pictures. Bruce Roth, and I love this. I don't know how you did it, Bruce, but your floating sculpture is pretty impressive. Mishan Scott, right there at home with the other statues. Harold Stark, David Alired, Elizabeth Andrews, Charles Wilson, and Wayne Winkler. So for 20 years of service. Oh, stand up. You standing? I don't feel you standing. And now I will do that. It's so much easier on stage because you have to stand up to walk up to the stage. But 25 years of service. Now we're getting up there. Wayne Angevin. I think it's interesting that we give a clock at the time of COVID because I don't know, watching the hands of the clock move while we're all sequestered at home is a challenge. Joe Varsugli, Dale Hurst. I see the name Dale Hurst, and I remember that, Dale, you were one of the first people I approved for return to campus. So I hope you've been productive on your return to the office. Darren Jackson, Richard Marchbanks, Chesley McCall, Karen O'Loughlin, Arena Petro, and I'm sorry, Arena, I'm going to leave off the last 5 or 6 syllables, but I know you go by Petro, so I'll leave it at that. Catherine Rasco, Gretchen Richard, James Scott, Tatiana Smirnova, Oh, and before we get to, I'll leave it at Tatiana. So I'm going to ask you to stand in your living rooms or in your offices or your dens or wherever you are, and invite everybody again to recognize the dedicated service for all those years. Thank you. 30 years of service, again, as of April. Kenneth Aiken, Mark CIRES, Prashant Charter-Schmook. I said Shar, and that's Sar, excuse me. I think I know that by now. So for those three, again, stand up, be recognized, and congratulations. And on now to the Outstanding Performance Awards. We have two categories. Science and Engineering is one category, and Service. And these are CMC awards. These people nominated and chosen by their peers. Have nothing to do with this. Nobody on the management team has anything to do with this. This is a community recognition, which carries with it its own special meaning. The first is Carson Warnicki in CSL for exceptional leadership in advancing atmospheric fire science and Fire Lab, Fire XAQ, and beyond. So here is a picture of Karsten with his award. So congratulations, Karsten. You'll be tired of this bell by the time I'm done, but I think you people deserve bells. So you deserve a lot more than that, but all I can give you is bells. Next, so there are 3 awards in each of these categories. So the next is Andy Jacobson, Kenneth Nelson, Andy Jacobson and Kenneth Nelson Schultz in GML for substantially improving NOAA's carbon tracker data assimilation system and assembling the most comprehensive set of in situ CO2 observations ever produced. So I'm sorry we don't have a picture for that, but why don't you just drink in that citation? I think it rolls right off the tongue. I think it says a lot. So thank you. Again, the assimilation of data, the collection and assembly of data sets is a tremendous service, a tremendous scientific achievement that benefits our understanding of the world around us. So congratulations to this group. This pair, I should say, not this group. And then the next is Kailan Chang, Owen Cooper, Audrey Goodell, and Irina Petro in CSL and GML for generating global accessible data on tropospheric ozone and advancing research on its temporal change and impact on climate, agriculture, and human health. And this is a picture of our award winner, so congratulations to you. I assume you're all standing, but as I said, I have no way of enforcing that. Moving on to Outstanding Performance Awards in Service. So CIRES is not just a scientific research organization, we provide service. Service to the scientific community, service to educators, service to society. So this category recognizes service. And the first is Hillary Petticord, Beth Russell, and Jonathan Joyce in GSL for creating a mobile application that brings the innovative Science on a Sphere experience to a worldwide audience. So the Science on a Sphere phone app, effectively, really exposing people to some of the beauty and magic and wonder of the Earth environment and our data sets. So Hillary, Beth, and Jonathan, congratulations. And I guess, Hillary, congratulations to your daughter as well, since she made it into the photo. Outstanding Performance Awards, Hazel Bain, Carrie Wall-Bell, Ryan Casado, Jonathan Koffler, Kathleen Lance, and Hillary Petticord again. So this is for creating a mentorship program at CIRES to boost workplace satisfaction and foster a more creative and productive research atmosphere. So these are the recipients listed. There are others who contribute to this that I want to point out. Tim Lanahan, an IT student, but he was not eligible because he was an undergraduate. Maybe we need to change our rules because I would like to recognize students for their contributions as well. Mimi Hughes, who's now a Fed, was also instrumental as a federal employee. We can't give the award, but I do want to recognize that contribution. And Alejandro Franquin also helped, who is now at NCAR. And I want to take a minute to talk about the CIRES mentoring program before I move on to the last awards. This really is something that it's a wonderful creation. It's colleagues reaching out to other colleagues saying, hey, you know, we went through some challenges developing as professionals, and we want to help you through those challenges as you go through them yourself. We've all been the beneficiaries of mentors throughout our careers. And the fact that this program was actively established is something I think speaks tremendously about CIRES and about the people in particular who put it together. So a shout out to this group. I'm delighted that they won this award. The participants surveyed, 100% reported that they've been satisfied with their experience. 100% said they would recommend the program to others. I've never seen that before for anything. So I encourage you to get involved. The registration details for mentors and mentees are coming up in September, or the deadlines are coming up in September. Please go to this website, check it out. I encourage you to consider participating either as a mentor if you're at that point in your career, or as a mentee if you're looking for support and guidance. You know, I mentioned Connie in the beginning. I learned so much from him, and a lot of my career success is attributable to him and others who provided mentorship early in my career. So I'm delighted with this program, and I strongly encourage you to look into participating. And then the final Outstanding Performance Award in Service goes to Hazel Bain, Ratsana Dodani, Mariangelo Fedrizzi, Dominic Fuller-Roll, Kylie Gray, Jeff Johnson, and Ben Rolls for building a critical system that serves the international commercial airline industry with enhanced space weather predictions and communications. So congratulations to this group here. It's nice to see you with your awards. Thank you for sending in the selfies. And then I want to comment on the CIRES Silver Medal. A lot of you are aware that on the federal side, Department of Commerce offers gold, silver, and bronze medals for outstanding achievement, superior performance. And they know, they're the first to say, we can't do it without our CIRES partners. Yet the rules are such that the federal system can't give an award, and there's a monetary award associated with it as well, to the non-federal employees. So we match that with our own version, and we match the financial award as well. And so the recipients of the CIRES Silver Medal for Superior Performance, CIRES Silver Medal for Superior Performance, which is a result of their participation and contributions to a Department of Commerce Silver Medal team, goes to Kelly Carrigan, Matthew Love, Chris Amante, and Michael Sutherland, who are part of the NOAA team honored with the DOC, Department of Commerce Silver Medal, for producing high-resolution topographic bathymetric digital elevation models informing coastal inundation models for tsunami and hurricane hazards. So congratulations to that group. And I realize that I stopped ringing the bell for some of you people. That doesn't mean my appreciation or the appreciation of your colleagues is any less. It just means I forgot there was a bell at my side. So congratulations to the silver medal team. And here are several of them there. And I'm not going to walk through all of these. I simply want to say we get recognized very broadly in very different fora. And I think it's worth noting, these are just some of them. I didn't make this slide, otherwise my name wouldn't be up there, but certainly Veronica, Reiner, Ellie, various awards for high impact research, for early to mid-career work, for lifetime contributions. The CIRES and CIRA employees were part of the governor's, oh, sorry about that. I'll let you read this, but the Federal Laboratory Consortium 2020 Impact Award for the Science on a Sphere work. Max Boykoff has won the Thomas Jefferson Award for citizenship. Fabian Hoffman won the university's Outstanding Postdoc Award. Carrie Wall-Bell has received seed funding from RIO, from the Research and Innovation Office. So people are recognized by professional societies, by honorary organizations, through innovative research awards, through university awards. CIRES researchers, members of the CIRES community, are recognized at all levels by entities throughout the world and right here at home. And again, I raised this to say we should be proud of ourselves, of our institute, and of our colleagues. So congratulations to all the award winners. Back to another question. Again, in a word or a strung together set of words, what is something you find admirable about the award-winning work of the people I just mentioned? So here's a chance to appreciate your colleagues and at least just express something you find encouraging, admirable, something that catches your attention and makes you proud. Humble, I like that. Yeah, I'm humbled. I'm the director of the Institute, and I'm humbled by all the outstanding work that so many people do. Dedication, perseverance, persistence, teamwork. This does not happen without teamwork and participation. Altruistic, yes, these are people that are giving. They give scientifically and they give it in a humanitarian sense. Mentoring program makes CIRES better, making the world better. I like that. I did forget this is a scrolling list, so you actually can use spaces between your words. Global impact. I would add local impact. Smart, yes, we've got smart people who go the extra mile. Innovative, yes, these do not happen without innovative and creative spirit. Service to our colleagues, absolutely. A lot of this is just done out of generosity and support of our mission and our colleagues. I'll just let you read through some of these other words as they come up. You don't need to hear my voice constantly. So I do think if this were a word cloud, it looks like dedication would be the biggest word on it. Yes, thoughtful. So you see some of the reactions of your colleagues to this really wonderful achievement, set of achievements. And I will say there are so many others that don't get recognized with the awards because we only have so many awards we can give. But you are part of something amazing. You are part of something amazing on the scientific front. You're part of something amazing on the human front. And it's very humbling to me when I see these things, to think about what this group of 899 people, give or take, do for the university, for the future, for science, for society, for our fellow humans. So it really is a privilege. I don't just use those words lightly, to be able to pause and recognize these contributions. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to a slideshow. We've asked people to send in photos of your new work environments. Well, they're not new anymore. You've been in them for close to 5 months. But some really cool photos came in, and you'll see we selected 3 winners at the end. But I'm going to just invite you to take a little time and look at the slides or the pictures as we loop through them. So if you can start it up. The office will be So I love looking through those things. We've all had our, oh, sorry, there are more words. Yes, we will all be together again. We've all had our own sort of unique COVID experiences in our COVID office environments, and it's really nice to see sort of how people are coping and what their work environments are like. So thank you to everybody who sent those in. As I said, we've selected 3 winners. I know you're dying to know who they are. The first one is Zoom Baby. I love this one. I wish you could compliment it with a picture of the face, because I'm sure the expression is every bit as exciting as the whole body movement. So Beth Wehe. Cat Secretary, Francesca Viterbo. I love that. I don't know if you're dictating or what's going on in there, or maybe looks like the cat might just be surfing the internet. Make sure your secretary is doing the work. And then the third is the Artist's Workspace. Kathy Bogan, our graphics designer, tremendous artist in her own right, and I love the background. I love the George Floyd. I love the sketches. So Kathy, the Artist's Workspace. So congratulations to the 3 of you for being selected. I'll do a final countdown. And now it's your turn. A few questions or comments have come through while I was talking, but in light of what you've heard so far, I invite you to ask questions real time while I answer a couple or raise a couple that have come in. First is, how many miles have Linda and Lorne traveled doing the Uber Awards? And Linda says the answer is more than 200. So thank you for that. I appreciate your dedication in doing that. Maybe I'll put you in for a service award next year. Got a comment from Harold Stark on the chat that he once borrowed Connie's Swiss cowbell for a costume contest and won it. Rest in peace, Connie. I appreciate that sentiment. Yes, Connie, you may remember, had that enormous Swiss cowbell. This is just sort of symbolic of my career and his. This is as close as I could come to his cowbell, but I'm still working on it. Has anyone else gained weight? I noticed this was anonymous. You know, I heard someone say that you're going to go one of two ways. You'll either get the fittest you'll be in your life during this experience, or you'll turn into a slug. So my guess is yes, others have gained weight. I've gained weight, I've lost it, I've gained it, I've lost it. It just kind of depends on the mood I'm in for the week. And someone wrote, wow, we've had over 800 plus people tune in this morning. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you for that. It really is a testament to the sense of community I think we have and to the community that we are. And so I'd like to thank all of you who contribute to that sense of community and support the CIRES effort. So with that, the floor is open. Any other questions anybody may have, please either send them to ciresrendezvous@gmail.com or enter them in the YouTube chat directly. So I've got Linda, Dawn, and Lorne monitoring the lines. Linda, is there something?
Yep.
Okay.
Does CIRES have any recommendations or ideas for welcoming new employees who are starting remote?
So Nate, you're listening through the line. Could people hear that, or is that something I need to repeat? Okay. This has been a challenge, and the welcoming new employees is kind of handled at the unit level. You know, NOAA has its protocols for new employees that start in the Skaggs building, which is where most of our new hires have been through this event. But we don't have anything formal. I would turn to Angela and kick that over to our HR, but I'm stuck in the camera all by myself. We don't have anything formal, but I will say this, and it's a chance to give a shout out to our HR team, which is truly outstanding. The amount of direct contact, the amount of engagement with new employees, the sensitivity to the fact that they're starting under unusual circumstances has been tremendous from my perspective. So I would like to thank the HR team for that. We don't have a formal program. If we do and I'm wrong, then Angela, please type frantically in the chat to correct me. But you know, I think we've been very successful at showing a sensitivity to the circumstances and showing that we care. And because each hire tends to be unique and the job responsibilities are unique, the needs of each hire starting remotely are a little bit different. So that tends to be handled more at the individual level, but I welcome any suggestions. You can email me personally with some thoughts on how to do that. Next question.
Someone was wondering if CIRES is offering any home support in the form of supplies, whiteboards, furniture, etc. The feds are currently not able to help at this time with non-computing resources, so it would be nice to have it supplied, some of our own equipment.
So my basic approach to that has been, if there's something in your office that you need to take to your home environment that you can carry unassisted, you're welcome to do that. We need to know about it. We need to track that. But in terms of things like buying a whiteboard or a desk or some other things, no, that's not something we're really supporting. And this brings up, I wasn't going to get into this, but I think it's an appropriate point at this point. I was on a call with the provost this morning where they reported out what went on at the Regents meeting. And the Regents, there was a proposal put forward to give $2,000 credit each semester to each student this year because of the COVID circumstances, which would result in a cost to CU Boulder of $70 million. And I'm going somewhere with this. A cost to the CU system of $250 million. And the CU leadership pointed out that that would mean thousands of layoffs, that this would impact faculty, this would impact staff, this would reach very, very deeply into our finances and our capabilities. And again, I'm sorry for going so long about this, but I think this is important. That motion was voted down, but it was voted down 5-4. And the rationale for the 4 that voted in support of it was there've got to be resources on this campus somewhere. And that if we just manage it better, we can come up with that $2,000 per student per semester. And that has triggered a lot more of a look at how we spend money. And we are in a time of austerity. And this is a really critical time. And our finances and the way we spend money are being scrutinized very intensely. Our reserves are being scrutinized very intensely. And I'll point out our reserves are why we've been able to survive as we have with minimal impact. So there is the upside of this is we are largely self-sufficient in the way we support ourselves, but some of that is because of the generosity that the university shows us in our indirect cost recovery associated with the cooperative agreement. And this is a much longer answer than I know you wanted, but this is important for everybody to know. And since it just came up this morning, I want to share it. So our reserves are being scrutinized very closely. What we spend money is being scrutinized very closely. And at a time when a lot of people are suffering hardships through furlough, we're just going to have to live with inconveniences. So if something is absolutely essential to your work as opposed to enabling you to work better, I want to hear about it and I'm open to it. But I'm asking all of you to understand that I am being asked, why did you spend money on this? Did you really need to? The campus is hurting. So we're going to be more austere probably than we have been. But I come back to the fact that we're very, very fortunate to be in the situation that we're in. So if I seem a little tight with the resources, the main reason, it's not because I don't want you to have everything you can have to be successful. I do want that. It's because I'm getting looked at how I choose to spend money in this time. So there are limits to what I'm able to spend resources on. Sorry for the long answer, but that just came up today, and I think that's critical for all of us to keep in mind. I hope the next question leads to a happier response.
Lots of questions about, are you going to sing? So we'll just leave it at that. But.
Well, I will say one thing. I came prepared to sing, but once I worked through Jose Jimenez's worksheet about infection risks and what they're associated with, I thought there's no way I'm singing because singing amplifies the risk too substantially. So tell you what, I'll sing to you next year. Send me requests and I'll see what I can come up with.
Waleed, what's your vision for the post-COVID work environment?
Oh, my vision for the post-COVID work environment is that I get to run up and hug each and every one of you and not have to think twice about it. But apart from that, I have to recognize things have changed. Some people have actually been more productive in this environment without the distractions of people walking into your office or a shared office or whatever. I think the attitude toward teleworking is probably going to be different nationwide. I basically envision a robust in-presence method of operating, or an in-present state of operation. But you know, I can't deny the fact that people have figured out ways to work effectively from home, and I think we're going to have a less populated campus. I think there will be more telework. I think the bar for that won't be quite as high because we're going to go through a long period. Even if there's a vaccine by the end of the year, it's still probably a year or two. What I read was 2 years before it could be distributed to 320 million people in this country. So there's going to be a long time where population density is going to remain a factor, and we're always going to want to be keeping that low. So what I envision is we're back, we're face to face, we see each other in the halls, we have spontaneous conversations about work, about the weekend. I think that's healthy. I think that's important. I think accessibility is going to remain important, but I recognize we found ways to be accessible remotely. We found ways to make it work. So I think it'll be a different environment with a lot more teleworking, but my number one criterion for telework activity is going to be that the work gets done, and it gets done every bit as effectively as if we were all in the same room together. So I hope that answers the question.
Okay, one more.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a CIRES branded mask?
I thought Katie had looked into that, and I don't remember the outcome. Let me take that question, and I will get back to you on that, because I like the idea, but again, in light of the news I just heard this morning about the pressures on how we spend money, there is a downside to people seeing CIRES masks out all over campus. Where'd the money for that come from? How was it paid for? But I promise you this. I promise you that if there is a way to do it that doesn't draw unwanted scrutiny, well, what kind of scrutiny is wanted really, but it doesn't draw scrutiny, and that I believe is a responsible expenditure of resources, I will do it. If not, I'll tell you why. I love the idea. I'd like to see it, but it's not something I can answer right now. Anything else?
That's all we have right now.
Okay, so I'd like to thank you all for your attention, for tuning in. I do want to remind you that we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock, and I encourage you to hear about the great science in the 4 short talks that your colleagues are doing, and then participate in the poster session. And I have to say, I've been dying to do this ever since I saw my head in the, I am going to do it. Ever since I saw my head in the screen as I looked down at my computer, I thought what I really need, I think I can do this. And I can't tell if it's showing up or not. But hopefully you're looking at a smiley head. If not, I'll flash you and say thank you for joining us. it really, I can't thank you enough for your hard work, your contributions, and I know it's hard to take me seriously if I've got Sharpie on my head. What's that? Oh, you turn around so I can see? Does it show? Oh, it does show. At least the eye does. Anyway, that's the CIRES version of Sharpie Gate. I can't thank you enough for your engagement, your participation, your commitment, your dedication, all of those words that popped up for the award winners. Those are things I feel for you. So thank you very much for that. It's hard to take me seriously with a smiley face on the top of my head, but trust me, it's from the heart. You really make this job a privilege. You really make the extra effort I have to put in well worth it. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at 1 o'clock. Oh, I have one more slide. I'm sorry. My computer. Oh, yes. Sorry, my computer went to sleep. I will leave you with this. Thank you for. Oh, I typed in the wrong password. Here, you can just look at my head. All right. It takes, I guess I didn't need to do that because you can see this. It takes a virtual village. So I do want to express my thanks to the CMC Rendezvous Committee, the Outstanding Performance Award co-chairs, the poster session moderators, all of you who contribute to make this a success. It isn't just, well, I do nothing except stand up here and talk, but it isn't just Linda and the IT team and the others that make this work. It really is everybody's commitment to this effort. So thank you all. It does take a village, and I am thrilled to be mayor of this village. So thank you. All right, we'll see you soon. Gotta go wash my head.